going to attempt my first ever t-shirt quilt. I selected my shirts a while ago when I went through my closet, so I have all 6 of the shirts that I'm going to use, and I found some scrap flannel that I'm going to use as the backing, and I've basically just decided that the quilt is going to be like whatever size fits that backing. I'm getting ready to cut them now. I'm a little bit nervous because once you cut it, I mean, I guess you could sew it back together, but it's not going to be the same. I should iron the shirts, but I really don't want to. I hate ironing. I might regret not ironing them. I did think about it. Like if at the end it's like, oh, she really got burned because she didn't iron, I wanted to be noted that I thought about it. I just actively chose not to do it. And if that's my downfall, I'll just have to accept that. I used a little cutting mat and big rulers, and I still managed, they're not exactly 1-foot squares, and I didn't think at all about leaving seam allowances. So I really have no idea exactly how big each of the squares is going to be. This is really just gonna be a shot in the dark like the whole way through. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. In the process, I have now injured myself on the rotary cutter. I think we all saw that coming at some point. I just finished clipping like the backs of the t-shirts and the sleeves into border pieces. So I'm gonna get those all arranged and make sure it looks okay. I've got 2 of my sort of panels done, quite pleased with them. It's pretty clear that things are not evenly measured. I think it'll be fine. As I was sewing all of this together, I found it wasn't working that well. So I decided for the middle panels, I was actually going to use parts of a 7th t-shirt. Thought this made it look a little different and give it more stability. I decided to cut all of the edges even, and I went back to my scraps to see how I could possibly make a border for the sides to give it a little bit more width. I cut a bunch of little squares and then I sewed those together in kind of a check pattern. This was a lot of little bits to sew together, but I think ultimately it turned out really well. I laid everything out and put it all together right sides so that I could turn it inside out. It's not really the professional quilting method, but it's so much easier and I like doing it this way. It's how I've made a lot of different blankets. Left a small hole on one of the edges so that I could pull everything right side out. Then I sewed up the little hole with just some hand stitching, and that is my completed t-shirt quilt.